Hello, everyone. My name is Tanya Hayden, and I'm here to present the Future Leaders Program and Future Leaders Camp 2025 information session. So, as you can see from this first slide here, this is a program put on by the University of Texas at Dallas Center for Global Business alongside the ECLOT Foundation, ECLOT standing for Education Changes Lives and Times. The first person we see here is Professor Hubert Zadorek. He is the director of the Center for Global Business and is the head of this program. Following that is myself, Tanya Hayden. I'm the program manager for the Center for Global Business and help assist with the program and camp. Lastly is Bruno Chavez Flores. He is a graduate student here at the University of Texas at Dallas, as well as the teaching assistant helping with the program as well. So how this information session will work is I will give you a very brief overview of the University of Texas at Dallas, and then we'll talk a little more about the program, and finally the registration details. If you do have any questions you would like to have us answer, please email us at flp@utdallas.edu. That's flp@utdallas.edu. So first is a quick overview of the United States of America, particularly where is Texas? So Texas is down here. We are this big orange state, and Dallas is located here in the North Texas region. UTD is the #1 public university in this North Texas area. We have over 5,200 international students from over 150 countries, and our alumni network spans over 132,000 members worldwide. Oops. So moving into an overview of the program, this is a selective program endowed by the ECLOT Foundation for international college students striving to become global citizens and global leaders. So this is a resume building experience that will improve your communication, problem solving, and critical thinking skills. Where we currently sit on the timeline is prior to May 31st. All of that is pre-program. So that means your application, registration, and the interviews. This is when you would find out whether you have been accepted or denied entry into this program, as well as where we begin setting up the technology. After that, we go into the Future Leaders Program. So that is 2 weeks from June 29th to July 11th, where we will virtually meet twice a day to discuss international business communications, global business essentials and trends, and work on a social impact plan. So this is 2 weeks virtually. After that is the Future Leaders Camp. So from July 15th to July 29th, this is the in-person portion. So you will be here in Dallas, Texas, doing company visits, cultural activities, and attending a symposium. After that is post-program, where you will then begin your alumni engagement. So you will join the Future Leader Program Alumni Association and then begin your work there. So the Future Leaders Program, within this 2-week virtual camp, you will learn from award-winning scholars, you'll have the opportunity to network with highly accomplished global professionals, and you'll be able to make a positive impact in your community through your social impact plan. So once again, from June 29th to July 11th, you would be doing 2 sessions a day. The first week typically focusing on international business communication and your StrengthsFinder test. The second week focusing on your global business essentials and trends, and then the social impact plan. So an example schedule from last year was during our virtual sessions, we had the preparatory in session 1, where we focused on covering the program schedule, what the objectives were, expectations, what readings and assignments you had, what your team dynamics would be, strengths finders, and then preparing you to introduce yourselves and set your personal goals for this program. So that was facilitated by Professor Hubert Zadorek, who you saw on that first slide. Then we had sessions focusing on the importance of your global network, your personal branding, resume writing, LinkedIn presence, understanding your strengths, and then an overview of business communication, which was facilitated by Megan Harrison, who teaches business communications here. And then there was the opportunity to create your global social impact plan based on the needs for your selected community. And this was facilitated by Dr. Gaurav Shaker, who is the Senior Assistant Dean here. Now, an example of the in-person sessions that we did, we had our orientation and welcome session, which was on July 23rd of last year. We also had a brief orientation and information session on the Naveen Jindal School of Management, which is the school that we are currently here attending. And so that's where we talked about the admission process, the academic experience, and what it would be like to attend this school. You'd also have the opportunity to attend advanced professional communication lectures. Following that, we had cool site visits, for example, being able to visit BenQ and Toyota HQ to gain an overview of their operations, what their markets are, the products, talent strategies, as well as network with the company professionals there. We also had cool opportunities to visit with local government organizations. For example, the city of Frisco, the city of Austin. We got to collaborate with economic development professionals and then do some cultural visits as well, such as going to the museum that houses the archives of George W. Bush. So this is an example here of past companies and cultural sites that we visited in 23 and 24. So we have companies like Altair Global, which is a global mobility company, GM, BenQ, Toyota. We also do fun cultural activities such as going to see a Texas Rangers baseball game. We do social impact activities as well, so community engagement or community service. For example, visiting Bonton Farms or going to Habitat for Humanity. And then having cool networking engagements as well. So being able to meet and speak with high-level professionals in these companies and these organizations. So we have a diverse student profile. Students come from many majors, many backgrounds, many colleges. We have people who came from economics backgrounds, business admin backgrounds, from medicine, from data science. So never feel limited by your major when applying to this program. We accept students from a variety and diverse set of majors. And then here are some previous student profiles. These are their social impact plans and basing them off of the sustainability goals. And so here are some of the global leaders that you may have the opportunity to interact with. We have Dobrina Ustin, we have Nikunj Nirmal, Lawrence Howarth, Tiffany Leon, Chris Fitzgerald. This Dobrina is the General Counsel for Immigration and Compliance. Nikunj helps run the technology solutions and strategic programs with Amazon. Tiffany is the Director of Volunteer Services at Habitat for Humanity. There are also accomplished scholars that you will be able to meet. For example, Professor Hubert Zadorek, Megan Harrison, and Dr. Gaurav Shaker. There's also professors such as Dr. Tom Henderson, Dr. Hapte Waldu, and Dr. Mike Peng. And so now moving on to ECLOT. So as I mentioned before, ECLOT stands for Education Changes Lives and Times, and their mission statement is to provide opportunities, life-enhancing experiences, and financial aid in education to deserving students in need. And so this here is actually the Naveen Jindal School of Management building. ECLOT has their own signage within the area that we call the atrium. So here are ECLOT board members. Board members, mentors, and sponsors. There's Miss Jean Jan, Mr. Sam Yang, Miss Linda Su, Mr. Eric Ko. There's also Mr. Yi Min Jan. There's Mr. Jerry Su, and then Miss Lily Tang. Now moving on to the Future Leaders Program Alumni Association. So the FLPAA is a vibrant network dedicated to connecting future leaders program alumni. So through regular in-person and virtual gatherings, they foster meaningful relationships, strengthen professional connections, and create a supportive community that extends beyond the program. So here are some pictures of them meeting in person in Taiwan. Now, moving on to the registration details. So all of your documentation needs to be in English. This means your college transcript, or if you are a high school student, then you would need a college acceptance letter as well as having your high school transcript. So two ways to do it. If you're a college student, your college transcript. If you're a high school student, your high school transcript plus your college acceptance letter. Then we need your resume, also in English, 2 recommendation letters in English, and then your statement of purpose in English. ECLOT scholarships are also available during the application process, which I highly, highly recommend that you apply for an ECLOT scholarship. So how much does this program cost then? For the Future Leaders program, which is that virtual portion, it is 1,000 US dollars. And then for the camp, it is 3,000 US dollars. This 1,500 that you see is for domestic students, so students that live here in the area. So international students with accommodation for both the Future Leaders Camp and Future Leaders Program is $4,000. This is inclusive of your insurance and your accommodation. However, it does not include your round trip airfare, your visa application, or any personal expenses. This is why I highly, highly recommend that you apply for the ECLOT scholarship, as they can help you cover a portion or the total of that $4,000. Now, for local students who live here in the USA without accommodation for both Future Leaders Camp and Future Leaders Program is 2,500 US dollars, the virtual portion being 1,000, and then the camp being 1,500. So I'm going to leave this here for a second. If you have not started your application, if you wanted to take a look at the application, please feel free to scan this right here. The application deadline is April 10th, 2025, and you can also go to this tiny URL to pull up the application as well. So lastly, I just want to share a few photos from last year. So here are a few photos from last year. This was at Austin City Hall. This was at the 6th Floor Museum. This is outside of the Texas Rangers game, the George Bush Museum. This was outside of the Texas Rangers game. This was at a site visit. This was Altair Global. Then we had Frisco, the Frisco Library. This, I believe, was NASA in Houston. This was also Altair Global. And then a few more. So this was the mayor of Austin. Then this was Frisco. This was in Houston, Austin, Houston, and then at the baseball game. So once again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email us at flp@utdallas.edu. That is flp@utdallas.edu. And I look forward to seeing you in the program. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.